All right, everybody. My name is Byron. As you saw, my boy has been growing out his hair. I think he said for about, I think like 7 months, even before quarantine started. He told me that he wanted a cut, and he said if it'll be better if I grow it out and everything. And I said, yeah, it'll look better for like a video, like a really major transition. But either way, to get into the cut, what I'm doing first is just separating the top of his head and the sides. I'm parting it right at the parietal ridge, which is where the hair meets the sides. That's what you call it, the parietal ridge. And so right now I'm just still sectioning the hair, which is pretty important, and also combing down the hair so that you can get everything in place. And so what I do here, I get my comb and I set my clipper all the way closed, so that it cuts it cuts as close as possible. But I'm using the comb as a guide just to literally just take off bulk, so I can go ahead and get started with the fading process. So usually I don't saturate my client's hair first. Usually I just keep it at the parietal ridge. Keep it with the hair clips at the parietal ridge. Usually I keep it like that, and then I start fading. But right here I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do this new technique I learned called block graduation. I believe it's called block graduation, where at the top of his hair I'm setting it at a certain place, so that basically the top it will land nicely on the side of his head, so that later when I'm fading, the hair that sits on top will sit nicely on the side. So that's what I'm doing first. Just wanted to try something new. I've seen a lot of barbers do it now. I wanted to try it out, and I actually liked doing block graduation. I think it's a good technique. And so after I've done block graduation, next thing I'm doing, I'm just doing some more bulk, taking out some more bulk. I put on my my number 4 guard, and I'm literally just going up. I'm not digging into the hair. I'm literally just going up. So I get my clipper right. I'm just scooping up. I'm literally just scooping up, and I'm using my comb as a guide. So as a guide right to that part where I did my block of graduation, so that the side hair can land nicely on the top part of his hair where I did the block of graduation. So that's what I'm doing here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and so now here I am starting the drop fade process. I'm doing a drop fade. I don't think I said that before, but I'm doing a drop fade on my client. And the reason why I started on the back is because everyone starts it out differently. People usually started right there on the sides, as you're seeing now. But I started on the back because I noticed he had a pretty noticeable occipital bone that pops out. It's the bone on the back of your head that pops out like a bulge or something, right? I don't know what you want to call it. I call it a bulge. Anyway, so I noticed that it was right there, so I made my bald line right at the bottom. Like, let's say this is the bulge, and then this is his normal head. So I did my bald line right underneath it. So that when I'm fading, I don't have to take extra steps to try and blend that part out, because usually when it's an occipital bone, it will make hairs how do I say this? It'll look like the hair is like darker, or like it'll look inconsistent within the head. So basically, let's say if I do like a one all around the client's hair on the side, you will notice that occipital bone, it's a one, but it'll look darker, and it's normal for people with indents in their heads or occipital bone. So that's why I did it specifically right there in my bowl line, so that the fading process would just be easier. So in this type, everyone does every step differently. You could have started out by taking off more bulk on the sides. I decided to go ahead and just slap on my number 2 guard with the clipper, my number 2 guard. Let me explain this to you. With the clipper open. This is a clipper open, and this is clipper closed. The more closed it is, the more close to skin you will cut, and the more open it is, the less you will cut to skin. So to not cut up more than I need to, I set it open with my number 2 guard, which is I noticed it's a pretty good length on a beard. Number 2 guard, and I specifically asked him if he wanted a certain like number on the sides, and he was just like, "Do what you want, bro." And I was like, "I got you." So I put on number 2 guard. I just took out a little bulk. You can see there's still a lot of hairs right there, but next I'm using my full shavers, making sure I'm not going all the way up where I did the bowl line. I'm just going about like 3/4, and leaving like a fourth of where I did the bowl line with the trimmers. You don't go all the way with the shaver, so that there's an extra transition. So like there's like a trimmer, and right below it is the shavers. So it's like an extra transition. It just makes the fade look it makes it look better, basically. And so right here, I'm using my Andis Masters. I'm using it with the clipper open. So this is the next step you would want to do. Using the clipper open, I'm going about looks like about 1/2 inch, and I might just do that all around his head with the same shape that I did. I'm kind of like going at the center right here, going at the side, and then I'm kind of dropping it, and then as I drop it, it's gonna go like this. That was weird. But then it's gonna come right back at the I'm gonna try and make it at the same, keep it consistent all around, and also I'm just brushing as I go. And so now with the next step, I'm going with my clipper, going with the clipper all the way closed, so I can go ahead and blend from the clipper open to clipper closed, or I should say blend between the blade, the clipper, and the trimmer. You wanna close your clipper. And then as you're fading up, you want to go ahead and adjust your lever, kind of like halfway open, and you do and then you open it more and you close it more as you need to. So and then because you're not gonna get every single like stroke correct. You're gonna have to go over it multiple times because hairs grow in different patterns. So like you see right here, I'm going in multiple patterns. How'd you say different motions. So like I'm going straight right here, I'm using my corners like this. So it's also important to just use the corners and not the whole blade itself, so that you're precisely getting those hairs and the blend that you want to get. Okay, so in this haircut, I'm really taking my time. You saw me start off with the 4 guard, and now I'm slapping on my 3 guard, so I can just take an extra step, making sure I'm doing the fade nicely. just to take out more bulk, I'm using the 3 guard, and still I'm using my comb so I won't go past where I did my block graduation, and just taking off more bulk. Alright, and so now right here you see me using my Wahl Carly Seniors, which is this one. I'm using my, I slapped on my 1 guard with the clipper open. So each guideline you want to do, you always want to go open. You always want to go open. Don't start off closed, because you're gonna mess up your guidelines. You're gonna how do you say, you're gonna have to make the fade. You're gonna have to how do you say it? You're gonna have to pull your fade up, if that makes sense. You don't want to do that. So I'm just going with the one all around his head, keeping it consistent as I go, and using my comb as I'm brushing down. I either use a comb or a brush to just brush those little hairs that come off. Okay, so in this step, I went ahead and used my 1 guard close this time. And so what that means is, so if you're following the steps, I went from the blade to a 1 guard, but there's actually a step in between, which is your half guard. But I'm closing my clipper with the 1 guard so that it how do you say, so it softens up the line that you see right there, so that once I come in with my half guard, it's like very easy to take out. And so I go all around the head. I'm just softening up that line before I come in with my half guard. And so right here, I step on my you didn't see me put it, but I have my half guard on, and usually I start off not all the way closed. I start off halfway open. I start off halfway open or halfway closed with my half guard, and I'm literally using my corners, and I'm, how you say, you go very slow but like very precise. So like it's like very small strokes, and like, how do you say it, you try to go very slow at this. Don't use the whole blade, because you're gonna mess up the guideline. You're gonna go too far that you don't really need to. So just use your corners as you need to. Adjust your lever if you think everything is too dark. Still slightly close it more so that it's closer to the skin, because every person's how do you say, head shape and hair texture is different. So you will sometimes have to possibly even close your lever all the way when you're using the half guard. Just depends on everyone's hair. And so now with my extra step, just taking out bulk, I put on my 2 guard, and I'm using my comb again as a guide, so I won't go just above that initial guideline I did right in the beginning with the block graduation. So I'm almost to the point where I did my block graduation, so I'm using my 2 guard, so I won't go right above that. Just taking out bulk. And notice I'm not exactly digging into the hair. I'm scooping up. I'm literally scooping up so that it takes out just the bulk. I'm not creating a guideline. I'm using my comb as a guide. And so right here you can see a line right there. It's kind of dark. And so what I did, I stepped on my it sounds weird, I slapped on my 1.5 guard. And first what I do is that I have it open, and I'm using my corners to try and sometimes I use the full blade, but I use my corners to try to blend between the 2 that I did right there and the 1. And so the 1.5 is really good for that. And like I said before, I adjust it as I need to, but I always start off with the clipper open, slowly close it as I go, and I do that all around the head. So right here, I went back to doing some detail work. That's something you would always want to do. Sometimes looking at the hair at the model, you won't notice something right away. Sometimes I take a glass of water, I drink it. What else do we do with water? Whatever. And I notice there's some, some imperfections. And sometimes if you're recording, and if let's say you're cutting hair and you look back, or however you have your camera set up, and if you look at it, the camera will show how do you say it? It will show like dark spots in the client's hair that sometimes you won't see. And that's something I noticed, which is pretty cool. Sometimes I forget that I can look at the camera because I'm so into the haircut, I don't know, I'm not sure if you're like that or not. But yeah, I'm doing some detail work. Slapping on, I put on my half guard on, I put on my 1 guard, I put on my well, I don't have a 1.5 guard for the masters, but most likely I have my 1 guard here, and if I need to, I'll go back to my half guard. But it's knowing where you did your guidelines and knowing where and what guards to slap on to do your detail work. Always remember, start off bigger. Like for me, if I wanted to do detail work, I'm like, I know what I did here. Let's say this is basically a 1 on this side. I'm gonna start off with the 1 guard, and then I'm gonna close it. Let's say the clipper open doesn't do anything, so I start closing it, and it won't cut off hair. Then I'll start putting on my half guard, but you gotta start it open. So that's why I always start off higher, so I make sure I'm not messing up the person's fade. Okay, so right here, I think basically I finished the fading process. So basically what I'm doing now, I'm just trying to clear the side of his head, so that it can blend nicely from the top of his head, like what I did before with the block graduation. It didn't exactly blend, obviously. So what I'm doing what is this technique called? Clipper over comb. I'm using clipper over comb technique, where I get my clipper and I get my comb and I set. Depending on how you shape the head is important. But right here, I have it mainly at a 90-degree angle. I set my comb at 90-degree, and I come in with my clipper closed, and I go like this, and you literally just scoop. I just scoop it out. Any hair that's hanging out, I scoop it out, and I do that all around the head, so that it blends nicely from the hair from the side, or hair from the top blends to the hair nicely on the sides. So right here, I did my clients have? Oh yeah, my clients did have what is this called? The clips on. My client had the clips on. So I took off everything. I saturated his hair. I didn't record it, but I'm doing like another block graduation basically. So where that hair, where I was doing my clipper over comb, I got the hair, and I set it like all the way down here, and I'm basically doing that, keeping it at the same length. So that's what I'm trying to do here, so that the hair sits nicely. So like, let's say if he wants to put his hair like this, there's no overhang, so it'll look clean, it'll look good. So that's what I do here, and I do it on the other side. I split it between half. I don't think you can see that I split his hair like how I have mine, but I split it like this, so that I can do black graduation here, and I can do black graduation here. After I've done that, I do some more clipper over comb, so that it just blends more. The hair on top just sits nicely on the side. Okay, so now I'm pretty satisfied with how I left the clients, how the hair is resting on the sides. I'm just gonna go ahead and saturate again, and go ahead and do make sure I I make sure the side part of his head fits nicely with the other parts of his with his head, basically. So right there, I'm just sitting in that initial guideline I have from the side, connecting it with the middle part of his head, basically, and I'm gonna do that with the other side as well. I'm not the best at shear work, to be honest. It's not my forte. I do want to improve more on it. I feel like I'm actually okay, despite not actually having a teacher or like a proctor, or whatever you want to call it, because I've never taken online classes or anything. I learned all through YouTube, and everyone knows everything's different when everything is online. When everything is hands-on, it's like someone's there with you, and you're like, no, try to do this. You have that motivation from someone who knows. So learning through YouTube was definitely a struggle in the beginning. I wanted to give up so many times, but I feel like I've grown so much. It's been I've cut about like 3 years, almost 3 years now. I want to say this summer was 3 years that I started cutting hair, but just this year I started putting out content. I started my YouTube channel this year. I started posting more on my Instagram. I made my TikTok. What else I have? I don't use Snapchat for my business, but yeah, I've grown such a long way, and as you can see, I'm taking my time with this hair, making sure everything is even throughout the hair. And so right here, I'm just using my thinning shear so that the hair on the sides just blends in more nicely, because I still see that there's still some dark spots, and I wasn't completely satisfied with it, so that's why I'm using my my thinning shear so it can blend in more nicely. Okay, so right here, now we're gonna start the beard. Using my my Babyliss Gold FX trimmers, and setting in how do you say it? I am lining up his beard right where I thought was the most natural, and my friend has never gotten a beard lineup. He has never gotten it shaped, never gotten it faded, and so I told him that if I could do it on him, and I told him I recommend it. If you want something different, and if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. But he told me, yeah, go for it, I trust you. And I'm like, okay, I got you. So what I decided to do, I decided to shape it right at the jawline. I thought it'd be good. I didn't want to go more further because he had a lot of hair. So I'm just lining it up at the jawline and just shaping everything underneath. You already know, to make that beard pop, to make it look nice, gotta throw in the shavers and make it razor bald, making sure it looks extra crispy, extra let's go with crispy. Alright, so right here I'm debulking the mustache. The number 2 guard, it's kind of too big when I try to either go down like that or go up. It's too big. It gets caught in the nose. It's uncomfortable. So I stopped on my my 1 guard open, and I'm just going straight down, and it actually works. It's taking out some bulk. And so now we're doing the C cup. Don't really know how to explain it. Basically, I get my clipper, I set it right by the temple, and I literally don't move. I don't move my arm. I just move my wrist. And see, it's like you're basically just moving your wrist at like a, not really sure, but as you can see right there, I'm just, if that makes sense. But I don't think I'm too good at doing the C cup. I mean, I think it looks nice. I think I made it complement his head. As you can see right there on his right side, there's still some detail work that I can do. And later on, I do some detail work. I do notice it, so don't worry about that. So now we're just fading the beard. I do the exact same steps as I did all around his head. Lever open, 1 guard, half guard, 1.5 guard, all of that. It's the same exact steps. So we can just go ahead and skip over this. So right now we're doing the shaping of the beard. So the way I wanted to shape it was that well, I feel like a lot of barbers do this, obviously, but like right here he has like a, it's like you can see where it does the shape. If anything, it's like you have to have an eye for it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, even though I haven't shaped it, I can see where I want to do my my shape. And as you can see right now, I'm shaping it right now, and I think it came out pretty clean. Um, honestly, after seeing this haircut, I like how I did this side better than I did the other one. I could have done it a little bit more better. I didn't do the shape as clean as I did on the other side, but regardless, it came out nice. He got a lot of compliments afterwards. He was just very happy, very stoked. Right here I'm just lining up the mustache so it can complement his beard and make it look nice. He looks completely different than what he did before. I'm really happy with how it came out. He was really happy. He was really stoked. As like I said before, I like how I did the other side better. But regardless, this is something I need to learn again. So when I cut his hair, I'll be happy to cut his hair again. Everybody, came out pretty clean. Came out pretty clean. Whew. Oh look, that's me. Well, that's the end of the video, everybody. I hope you liked it. Let me know. Actually, let me know what type of haircut you would like to get. What type of haircut you would like to get. Because some people, let's say for me, I usually get taper fades. Right now, I'm growing out my hair. I'm actually growing out so I can donate it to cancer. That's just something I want to do, right? But sometimes people are like, oh, I want to try a mullet, but they're too scared to get it, or I want to do a burst fade and they're afraid to get it, so they just go with the safe route, a safe route like a taper fade. But anyway, everybody, that's the end of the video. Go ahead and watch my latest video down here. Go ahead and subscribe right here on the left, and over here is my social media. So I appreciate everybody. Go ahead and if you stay this long, thank you. It means so much to me. Well, this is the end of the video. My name is Brian, everybody. Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye bye.